sitting in the most unflattering pose in the whole entire universe. So I've just been sat here for what seems like forever because my electric has been cut off through my ridiculous, forever stressful payment meter, which I absolutely detest and is the bane of my life. And it's just got me thinking. Well, it's not just got me thinking, but I just thought I'd share my thoughts of how deep this thing goes. This prepayment meter option is obviously offered to people who live low income and who can't afford their electric and their bills and things like that. And I'm thinking, literally every time the bastard thing has cut out, I've been either trying to give my little boy a bath, and obviously the boiler won't work when there's no power going to it, regardless of whether I've got gas on it or not. The lights cut out, and obviously over the winter, it's just, not only is it dangerous because there's no lights in my property, and I have a young toddler, I can't, just for example, if I was giving him a bath, there would be no hot water, there would be no light, there would be no heating. And I think like fundamental things that a family would need, let alone your cooking, or anything else. Appliances, phone, what the list goes on of all the things that are now electric and that we rely on. Just those three things. I think just because people have low income doesn't mean that they need those things any less. And the constant feeling of that power being taken away or cut off is a cause for concern and great anxiety. And even though I have been through times whilst living here that I haven't had the money to put the electric or the gas on, at the moment I do. So I'm not stressing about it as much as what I was before. But I thought, who was the absolute, I want to say bellend, that came up with the idea of a prepayment meter for a low income family? And then I thought, well, it's the same bellend or bellends that come up with most of the systems that we live by. For example, just on my property again, they've put a prepayment meter for the gas outside of the property. Not in a place that you can get to easily either. I have to walk round the side of the house, right down the side of the house. Now, when you have a toddler and you live on your own, who's going to look after the toddler when you have to go and put the gas on? And it doesn't happen easy. You have to go and punch in the numbers. And it always goes when you need it most, i.e. when it's bath time and bedtime and freezing cold time. And I think it's the same bellends that come up with systems like the justice system and the school system and the medical system. And I bring it up a lot in my videos and on my platforms. And I think these systems that we live by, and these systems that are made up by these bellends, that cause great unrest and anxiety, and for people to feel extremely stressed, and doesn't help their situation at all. And if anything, makes their situation worse. And you can literally apply it to every single system that we find ourselves in at the moment. These systems that were built by people that don't use these systems, that are not written by people that use these kind of systems every single day. And there's no way that a single parent has written or come up with the idea of a prepayment meter. There's just no way. I don't even think that there's any any way that they were even involved in that kind of decision. I mean, what does it really do? It just means that if you can't afford the power, you don't have the power. And I think that is the underlying thing for all of the systems. If you don't have the power, then you don't get the power. Whether that be going to court, whether it be going into the school system, whether it's going to university, whether it's going into the medical industry. If you don't have the money, you don't have the power. If you don't have the money, you're less likely to have a good education. If you don't have the money, you're likely to not have good medical care. If you don't have the money, then justice really doesn't apply to you. And I think so much about the work that I do and the people that I talk to, and I think the people that need the power and the help the most are the ones without the money. And I'm building Anchor to help people realise that they are the power. It's the people that give the money the power. It's the people that give shares the power. It's the people that give businesses power. It's the people that give industry power. And it's the people that give these systems power. It really is that simple. And when we start understanding that we do have the power to change our reality and change the systems that have been made for us, not by us, that we really start actually being able to get better. And if you've been thinking that you're depressed or that you are suffering from really bad anxiety, that you are struggling with mental health, I'd just like you to think a little bit differently about that and how you approach your health. Because I don't believe that we do suffer from mental health. I think we struggle having to experience these kinds of systems I think our bodies and our minds and our makeup are not designed to live in these kind of systems. They're not designed to help people flourish and coexist and to benefit from. These systems are ways to control, to take away your health, whether that be mental or physical, and leave you codependent. So when you are struggling and thinking how you're going to get through another day and scared about the way things that are turning out, what I would like you to think about is that your body and your mind is reacting to its surroundings. Your nervous system is responding in a way that is completely natural to the world around you. Your anxiety and your feelings of hopelessness and longing and frustration and anger and sadness, and I could list so many more. It's all natural. It's all completely natural. Your body is reacting completely naturally to an existence built on systems that weren't designed to help you. And we can do all the yoga and we can do all the breath work and we can do all the therapy that there is in the world, but unless we are prepared to live by different systems, then really all we're doing is treading water. And changing these systems is actually a lot easier than what we are actually fed. It's literally just choices. And where we put our money, where we spend our money, what shares we invest in, what companies we buy from, what businesses we invest in. When you are putting your money somewhere, anywhere, in a bank, in a shop, in a service, wherever you put that money, that is where you put your power. What I urge you to do is to research into where you put that money. Be aware of the companies that you are funding. Are they ethical? Do they treat you well? What are you getting for your money? And it's so simple. It's so simple. When you're buying food, if you go to a restaurant and it was bad food, would you keep going? No. If you kept having bad service, you would stop going to that cafe or going to that restaurant. If you kept receiving bad customer services and they kept saying that they were going to sort the problem out and then didn't, you would want a refund. You would be going to trading standards. So why aren't you doing that with the systems? It's possible. It's all possible. It's just a case of choices. We have become so codependent on the systems that bind us and that don't really help us. And it's very, very clear. Very, very clear. It all sounds like such big business and makes us feel so little to think that what can we do to change things. And, you know, when we think so much about like, it's just little old me, you know, my decision doesn't really make any difference. Well, it does. It massively does. The thing is, when we change within ourselves and we make better decisions for ourselves, then other people follow by suit. There's part of our nervous system that is actually connected to the same nervous system that like deer have. That deer, you know, we share, being mammals, we share this part of our nervous system. And when a deer sees danger, they make changes in their body, and that change carries through the whole herd, and they all turn to look at the danger. Then once you've probably seen it on like David Attenborough, one deer says, "I'm off, I'm scared." Then all the other deer, like a wave, follow suit, turn, and move away from the danger. We as mammals, we as people, we as humans, we have this same nervous system. And we can inspire the people around us by making better choices within us. When we start choosing better, when we start living better, it's like a ripple effect, and our nervous system sends out messages to the people around us that we are safer, and they will follow to safety. So when you're thinking that you are not changing anything and you're not doing anything for your community, by making small choices about where you put your money and investing in places that help you and make you feel safe and that are genuine and empathetic and compassionate and do business well. And I think that is so rare these days, to find a business that does business well. When I find those people, I support them, And you know who they are in communities. They are the ones that don't necessarily blow their own trumpet. They are the ones that don't necessarily market themselves well. They are the people that maybe sit under the radar a little bit. They are the ones that you need to be seeking out, because good people do ethical business, and that's what you need to look for, and that's what you need to invest in. It does take more work, but the payoff is more. And putting your money in something that you trust in will help you feel better about yourself and make you feel genuinely more powerful about your existence. And I mean this across the board. You are more powerful than you think that you are. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got the money. You still have the power. They just don't want you to know that.